Good evening, ghasts, ghouls, and everyone in between. It's Mike here. If you're new to the channel, I am one of the people who runs the channel, and you may not have seen this stupid face for a while, or ever. I am going to start doing these monthly update videos just to keep people informed on what's kind of been happening. So, for some of you, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know why things have gone a little bit quiet recently. My father, after a long illness, sadly passed away, and it's been a very difficult time, as I'm sure all of you can imagine. And for any of you who've been there and been through a loss like this, it can take quite a while to adjust to the kind of new normality and going through all the various stages of the grieving process and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to make a video about my dad at some point, because without him there'd be no Ghastly Tales. I wouldn't have embarked on a career as a writer. None of that would have happened, and I mean, I owe a lot more than that to both my mum and dad, but specific to the podcast and to storytelling and to especially my love of ghost stories, that all comes from my dad, and he would tell me ghost stories as a child, and that's really where my love for the genre came from. And he was a wonderful, wonderful man, and people can get quite hyperbolic about things when someone passes away, but he really was a great man, and it was really lovely to see the so many people at the funeral, and so many people with great stories about him. And he dedicated his life to helping people, and he saved a lot of lives and made such a huge impact on so many people, and that's been very comforting to me and my family, knowing that and hearing the stories and the thank yous from people, and for what he did for them, and that's been really great. So it's a difficult time, and but what happens in these sorts of circumstances is that you can quite easily feel yourself kind of receding from the world a little bit. And I suppose in some way I've done a little bit of that at times. I mean, it's raw. This whole terrible event is only a few weeks old. But there's a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. I was very lucky to have him in my life, and so were so many people. But I don't want to go on and on about this loss. I'm sure many of you can understand, and my heart goes out to anyone else who's going through a similar sort of thing. I know actually a couple of you have contacted me privately and said that you're going through similar things at the moment, and it's tough, but we'll all get there, and we'll all get there together. We'll all get through it. And so I feel kind of inspired in a way, and positive about moving forward in a lot of ways, because when you go through something like this, you sort of realize how short time really is, especially with your loved ones, but just in general. Even if you're really, really lucky and you live a long life, it's still not a long time. And my dad had his life's work, which was way more important than what I do, but I kind of found my calling. Even though I've been a writer really since I was a kid, I embarked on it seriously as a career round about the same time that my dad did in his career as a social worker. And there's a kind of comfort in that in some way, because I feel like I've kind of went through a lot of the same stages that my dad did in his life to get to doing the things that he loved doing. And anyway, like I say, can't compare the two really, because he was saving lives and I'm writing stories. What he did was a lot more important. But I feel more dedicated towards what I'm wanting to do with my life than I have done probably ever. Even though I have been dedicated to it before, like it's the knowledge and awareness of how fleeting time is has kind of propelled me on to want to do a lot more and to really produce quality work for people to enjoy. I love telling stories, whether it be writing or films or audio plays, voice narration, those sorts of things. So I'm really throwing myself into these things, and it's helping me through a difficult time in a lot of ways. It's helping me sort of cope, and also helping me feel closer to my dad in a lot of ways, because he's the one that lit the spark in me for telling ghost stories and loving storytelling and loving to communicate with people and make a connection. So it's this is what I'm dedicating myself towards. Obviously, the most important thing is your family and your friends, but that's where your first dedication should be, in my opinion. And it is, but past that, creating new things for all of you to enjoy and to really take my writing career to the next level, the next stage, is something that I'm looking forward to and making strides towards. So I'm back now. There's going to be some videos coming. I want to kind of do one of these videos a month, so that even in the quieter times I'm kind of checking in with you guys. You'll notice that we did some live streams recently. Well, I say recently, it was like a month or two ago. We did Silent Hill, and so there'll be some horror live stream things. But there are certain things that I think are going to change slightly on the channel from this kind of approach that I'm feeling of wanting to really embrace the uncertainty of things and wanting to throw myself into my work. And in doing that, there are going to be things that I'm going to do on a whim on the channel as well. There are going to be videos which are they're primarily going to be fantasy and horror based, just like the channel always has been. You're still going to get a lot of the narrations and things like that. There are, as we mentioned a little while ago, we've got a couple of big projects we've been working on, and that's where most of our energies have been going, and will continue to go. But there's some stuff I want to do for fun as well. It will be helping me get through this difficult time, and hopefully it's something that we can all enjoy together as fans of horror and storytelling. And so there's going to be some more sort of gaming stuff here or there. If I think at any point that these types of videos are going to drown out the narrations and the films that we do, then I'll just go, we'll do it on a different channel. But the stuff, when I say gaming, I mean there is some video game stuff that we'll do every now and then, but I am really looking forward to doing this, going through this with all of you. So I have, my wife got me this for our anniversary. It's Call of Cthulhu. It's an RPG, a role-playing game, pen and paper and dice, and there's a huge part of it which is storytelling. It's primarily storytelling, and there are some solo quests that I'm going to do on the channel, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. And also we will do some live streams every now and then, hopefully with the other guys, if they're as into this as I am. If they're not, maybe we'll get some guests on the channel to play some of the games with me, or maybe even some of you, if you're interested in doing it. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. There's going to be the odd video about that. It's not going to drown out the channel, or it's not going to be constant video of role-playing stuff, but it's something that I've kind of felt a little bit of comfort in with that. I'm also going to be doing some I've realised something that I don't do reviews. I do recommendations. I don't really review things that I don't like. If I read a book and I don't like it, I'm not going to spend the time talking about it. Um, I also don't like tearing people down, particularly unless it's something that I really love and I feel it's been terribly mishandled. Occasionally, I'll talk about it, but for the most part, I want to do some book recommendations and some film recommendations, and there's going to be some stuff like that going on as well. It's all horror based, and hopefully stuff that you guys can all give me some recommendations of your own, and we can talk about these things. I did a little bit of this, a lot of this, on an old channel called Horror of Mike, and really it's just kind of bringing elements of that into the Ghastly Tales channel. Up next, in terms of narrations or audio productions, I've got two stories. One that I'm working on for narrations. One is called Something Borrowed, which I released a text of a little while ago. It's a really a kind of, I suppose, a Just Desserts horror story. And then a story that I'm just editing at the moment, which my Patreon subscribers are going to get in the next day or two, and that's the working title for that is A Night in Strathclyde University Library. It's quite a cumbersome title, so I may change the title. It's kind of a play on an M.R. James story, which the title is at least, which was he never actually published, but was found after his death. But anyway, so that's a Jamesian ghost story, really. I'm enjoying writing. Oh, I've written it. I'm enjoying editing that one now. And some other things have happened. I've actually had a book release while all these terrible things have been going on, unfortunately. But I was published in a short story collection called Other Voices, Other Tombs. And that's actually been released. I will do a video about that. And really just, I'm going to be doing stuff for a little while that's stuff that I kind of enjoy and is going to reconnect me with storytelling and the horror genre. And I apologise if it's not the sort of thing that you guys have subscribed to the channel for, but I think really it's an extension of what we've been doing in a lot of ways. I'm not going to have any video schedule. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to be like, I need to a video out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, any of that. You'll see the videos as they're released. If you want to get early access to things and access to exclusive unpublished stories that I've written, and I also do a podcast which is exclusive as well, called Horror Hideout, which is a little 30-minute monthly podcast I do, which is I discuss a horror topic, a little bit what's been going on as well. You can get all these sorts of things on our Patreon. If you subscribe to our Patreon, it helps pay for web hosting and our Libsyn account, and any extra money is kind of put back into a lot of the stuff really that I do on the channel, to just being honest about it, because it kind of started off as my own Patreon account, and I didn't want to do like two Patreon accounts, one for Ghastly Tales, one for me. So but as we raise more funds, a lot of that money will be going towards hopefully investing it in some of our film projects and stuff like that as well. So there's a link to that in the description below if you want to go there and check that out and help support the channel and the show. What else has been happening, really? Well, that's, I think I've covered. I don't know why I'm looking over there. There's nothing there. I think that's me covered most of what I wanted to say in this August update video. I think probably the next thing I will do is I'm going to do an unboxing of this Call of Cthulhu starter set. For those who are a little bit bemused about this, that video will kind of explain what this sort of stuff is. It's based on Lovecraftian horror, so not just H.P. Lovecraft's horror writings, but a lot of other writers who produced the idea of kind of cosmic horror and things like that. So I'm really stoked to play some of that stuff with you. On an old channel many years ago, I used to do Choose Your Own Adventure readings, and they were great fun. And so the solo adventures for this are kind of a little bit like that, only with more kind of role playing aspects. And I'll be narrating the passages from these quests as we go along. So it'll kind of be like it will be a story, but it'll be playing out as we go. So I'll be doing some of that, and like I say, book recommendations, some film recommendations, stuff that I really love and enjoy. And I'm also going to be doing some more writing videos, although I am thinking about at some point starting another channel just for writing tips. But for now, I just want to include those things on Ghastly Tales, and that's really about it. I hope you're all doing well. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Well, I'm not fine, but I'm getting there. I'm okay. And it's good days, bad days. Most days are filled with good moments and bad moments. Moments where you feel fine, moments where you feel upset. But knowing that you're all there for me to ramble on to like this, and also to hopefully enjoy the sort of videos that are upcoming, really means the world to me. It gives me outside of my family, it gives me a real purpose, in life. This and the people who read my stories outside of YouTube as well and listen to the podcast. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift that you've all given me, and it's really enriched my life. And I don't mean financially. It's enriched my life just in terms of giving me a goal and giving me a sense of that I'm doing something that's maybe a bit worthwhile. And that's an important thing, I think, for anyone to have. So anyway, thank you to all of you. Much love to everyone, and I will be back soon in another video. Unpleasant dreams. Bye for now.